Hey, welcome to the first day of your 3-day live and free virtual workshop, how to get paid being spiritual. Well, this is a topic that is really close and dear to my heart because I'm spiritual and I used to be a healer and all the good stuff. So this workshop is especially for you if, of course, you are a spiritual entrepreneur, you are a woman spiritual entrepreneur who is a healer, coach, and consultant. This is specially designed and created for you. All right, so welcome to today's episode. Not episode, I'm so used to saying episode. Welcome to today's first day of your workshop. So I'm going to start with introducing myself and telling you what's the pink elephant in the room. All right, so if you are new to my work and if you don't know who I am, I apologize. I've not been doing a great job at introducing myself. So I'm Elise Ann, and I'm the creator and founder of the thriving Facebook group, The Spiritual Entrepreneurs, where we are hosting more than 16,000 members from around the world. Woohoo! Yes, it was built within a year, and so I just want to let you know that all things are possible, right? And so before I go on and share with you my story, I would want to tell you the pink elephant in the room first, right? So I'm Elise Ann, and I help spiritual women entrepreneurs who are healers, coaches, and consultants get their name out there so that they can change their financial destiny and live the rich life. So I want to talk about the pink elephant first because I want to get all the mind chatter out of the way so that you can really pay attention to whatever that I am going to be sharing with you and teaching you. So today it's going to be me sharing the entire success plan that how I took myself from a broken healer to now an award international entrepreneur. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of what I have done. So one thing to take note is that English is not really my first language. So I teach people how to make money and not English. So please forgive me with my bad English if you spot any. Just focus on the message, all right? So I am going to be really transparent with you, and I ask that you give me the permission to be who I am. And as a result, then you can be who you want to be in this the next 3 days, right? Because it's so important that we allow ourselves to be who we are. And I'm doing this in my house, so you may hear birds chirping outside because I live just. The park is just outside my house. My husband may be screaming, my daughter, and so I just want to let you know that this is not the best quiet environment that I can find myself in. And yes, I do work from home. That's what I choose to desire. That's what I desire, and that's what I chose. So I have like few things that I've written down. So I'll be referring to my book periodically. And that being said, I do not have an exact script for this course because I sincerely believe life doesn't come with a script. So I am not going to be giving you any scripts. I'm going to be sharing with you stories, and through the stories, I'm going to be teaching you through stories. One reason because stories are super powerful, and another reason being that when you hear a story, when you learn from a story, your unconscious mind doesn't reject it, right? It's not going to go defensive. It's not going to go, that's not me, and that's the. So you relate in your mind, like what's you can then create that vision in your mind. So I'm going to be teaching you through stories. I'm not going to be giving you a script. Like I said again, there is no handbook that comes with life, right? And so you go figure that out, and how you do life is what you want to do. It's not the way I want for you, it's what you want for yourself. Okay, and so just in case you are even wondering what's the intention for this, am I going to sell anything, am I going to pitch anything? Well, let's just get this out of the way right at the beginning. I am not going to sell you anything. You cannot buy anything from this workshop. However, that being said, I am going to invite you to apply to one of my new programs. So it's not gonna be like I want to buy it and you go buy it. No, I don't work that way. It's gonna be an application process. So just let's just get clear on that. And Let's see. And of course, if you found this valuable, please go ahead and share this with your friends. There's a link right there, and go ahead and click it. And if you are on the page right now, which is Elise-NELYSEANNE.com/get paid live, there will be a Facebook comment box at the bottom where I'll be periodically checking as well. Well, not periodically, I'll be checking them for questions. So this is going to go for 2 hours. I don't want to shortcut anything. I don't want to, you know, like speed time up. I don't want to just like rush through things. I like things done slow and easy. I don't like stress. I don't want to stress myself. So if for whatever reason that you need to excuse yourself, you need to leave early, by all means, go ahead. There'll be a replay at the end. I'll be sending you the replay. And if you need to use the loo, please go ahead and use the loo. And all I ask is that, you know, if there are any distractions around, like your laptop, like your, you know, your devices and all, please shut them down and just be with me here now. And what else I want to say? Oh yes, I know I promised you a gift, and I'm going to be sharing with you towards the end. And I am going to be inviting one of someone, a lady, to be on air later on. If she can find the link, she will be on air. So let's get started, shall we? Alrighty. So as I have mentioned earlier on, I'm Elise Ann, and in case you don't know who I am and what gives me the right to teach this topic, well, I have been a healer before. I was a flight attendant, and I thought I was just going to retire as a flight attendant, right? Was happy climbing the ladder. I got promoted and I got really good at what I do. However, that being said, when I went to the second company, I found myself just bitching and complaining all day long. The moment I wake up, I was complaining and bitching, right? And it was just not very fun, you know, I mean, there must be more to life than just complaining and bitching, right? So I was very unconscious then. I wasn't even like God-fearing or any, I wasn't even spiritual, but I knew deep down there must be something more to life than just bitching and gossiping. So my mom at that time, she is spiritual. She went into some workshop like angels and that kind of thing. So one day I decided, hey, you know, let me go take a look, and like, is it possible to see angels? Like, what? So with a very curious mind, I actually went there thinking that I'm the normal one and people are the cuckoo ones. And when I went there, and after the whole entire thing, I realized I was the cuckoo one, right? Because everybody was feeling something, everybody was sensing something, just not me, you know? So I went home, burned 2 candles, held the crystals, and I tried to just meditate. I tried to meditate, and I actually got something. And then that piqued my interest, and that was when I went on a spiritual journey and I became a workshop junkie. And so to cut the long story short, and then when I was in Taiwan with Charles Virtue, I had this divine download that I'm supposed to be doing this. Well, you have to understand that I was a flight attendant doing very 3D lower energy kind of thing, and me helping people, like, are you sure? Like, no way. But let me investigate it, because I'm enjoying my time so much with the angels and doing this spiritual work. So I decided that I was going to do this, right? But I didn't know how to start a business. My mom had a yoga studio, and I was getting clients here and there through her. And so I was really dependent on her and her clients. I really didn't know how to get clients, to be honest. So me and my best friend, we started this journey together, and we started this company called Angels Loft. And we really thought that just with a website and a domain name, our names are going to get out there, and we're going to get super famous, and clients would just come just marching in. And, you know, even in one of Doreen Virtue's older meditation, it was said, like, you know, just close your eyes and just visualize the white light coming to you, and then voila. And then I even saw a psychic for it, and she's like, did you tell the universe that you're open for business? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And so that got me thinking, like, you know, I'm Chinese, so karma plays a big part. And so I thought there was this huge thing that I did in the past, that in my past life, that I killed somebody, and I'm now paying my karma, because I could feel that abundance so close to me, and yet it was unattainable. So I thought, okay, maybe it was some past life thing that I did. So I've got myself into past life and blah, blah, blah. But now if you ask me, I don't think that is necessary, because we live in the now. I mean, you may want to go and find out what's your lesson, but really now time has accelerated so quickly, you can just decide right now and boom, karma is cleared, right? So there's this thing called the instant karma, I would call it. And so instant gratification, instant manifestation, it can happen just like that. Okay, so then I wasn't really struggling for 3 years. And so I got this divine download to start a crystal workshop, a crystal jewelry business, because then I was pregnant with my second child and I went to a depression because thinking that I was going to start my spiritual business, then I found myself pregnant and I couldn't do it. So then the alternative was to do crystal business, crystal jewelry handmade business, and that was what I did. I learned the crystal jewelry techniques before my child was born, and I created a website on Blogger because it was free and I didn't know what else to do. So from there, I advertised from a Singapore motherhood because that was what I knew how to do, and I just did it. And then business took off. Literally, business started coming in. The first day I put the thread out, I had business already, and then I grew my clientele from there. So I was a stay-at-home mom, and then my daughter was born. I gave it to my daughter. I literally started my business from scratch and from a cardboard box in my friend's house because we were shifting house. And so I would thread the crystals in the daytime. My helper and my husband would be here cleaning the house, and then I would be doing delivery during the night. So it's like part of doing whatever it takes to be successful. And so that was what I wanted. That was what I needed to do. And so business was good. I made about 2,000-3,000, sometimes even 6,000 as a stay-at-home mom, and that was what I wanted because I didn't want to depend on my husband. I wanted to be independent and make my own money, and true enough, I did. Then I got lazy. I wanted passive income, and you get what you ask for. And then this MLM thing fell into my lap, and I gave up my business overnight. I have nothing against MLM; it's just not for me. So if you're doing it, kudos to you. I mean, it's just not for me, and that's just my opinion. And so I did it for 8 months. There was no traction. And in the MLM company, in order for you to be a speaker or to speak or to inspire, you need to climb a certain ladder, and I wasn't able to do that. And that was then I got pregnant with my third child, right? And I met an accident. I had ulcers on my lips. I knew there was huge resistance for doing this because I knew I don't want to just do this day in, day out, just sit down, draw circles, have coffee. And I knew I didn't want this. So I told my upline that I was going to quit. I quit overnight. So for me, I knew what's not working for me, and I wouldn't hang on to the energy. I would just quit. So here's a teaching moment for you. If whatever, you need to know yourself well enough, like what's not working for you, and then don't do it. Because if you continuously do it, then you're going to continuously get a result that you don't want. So even as unconscious as I wasn't that unconscious, okay? To be honest, I wasn't that unconscious. I was spiritual, but not like, wow, there's this huge breakthrough, right? Like, I know how the mindset works. So prior to that, I haven't told you this story. Prior to that, I actually flew myself to LA to get my mind rewired for success. Over there, I saw many spiritual entrepreneurs like myself. Some were successful, some were not. So of course, you don't compare yourself with those who are not successful, right? You compare yourself and you look up to those people who are successful, and they were millionaires. And so that triggered something in my mind. Well, if they are spiritual, and this goes back to when I started my business, I was telling my friends, like, I want to start this business. And she's like, you can't charge for it. In fact, you can't charge too much, and you can't charge for it because you're doing God's work. And so that stuck in my head. And like, well, yeah, you know what? They're kind of right. Like, who am I to charge this, right? And so when I got there, I saw millionaires, and they are doing very well. And that like really triggered something in me. That means I could make money too. That means I could be really rich, be spiritual and rich. And so that triggered something in me. And I learned so much. I read every book that I could get my hands on, but I was still broke. So here's the difference. You can read all you want, but until you take action, nothing changes. So let me bring you back to me after quitting my MLM business. And then now what? I gave up my crystal business overnight. There is nothing I could do. And I try to figure things out on my own. And oh man, and I found myself 7 months pregnant, or really 8 months pregnant, sitting down there in the corner of my room. And I was crying and screaming, like, literally, why is God being so unfair to me? Like, I was in debt for 10 years, right? Struggling with many $1 days in my bank account. I was screaming and shouting, why are you doing this to me? Obviously, I was super angry with God, right? And I'm like, you know what? And I calmed down and I thought to myself, well, here's the deal. I know God. I don't know if I know God that well at that point, but this is one thing I know for sure, that he does not show any favoritism. He loves everyone all the same, right? And so if Oprah, Richard Branson, and Donald Trump and Ellen DeGeneres are also are children of God, and they are super successful, then you know what? Then that is available to me too. So that was the day I decided I was going to do whatever it takes, legally and morally, without prostitution and selling my children, that I was going to be successful, that I am going to be successful. May want to write this down, this mantra, and it's still applicable to me till today. I am going to do whatever it takes, legally and morally, without prostitution and selling my child, to be successful, because you need to be really specific on how you want to be successful, because money can come in all shapes, size, and form. Like it can come, money is neutral. Money is currency, and currency is energy. It's literally neutral. If it's not neutral, then the pimps and the drug dealers wouldn't be making this huge amount of money, right? So let's get this straight. Money is neutral. And so then I was super broke. I had, I think, between $1 to $50 in my bank account. Like if it even maxed out to 100, that was like, wow, hallelujah day. And I knew I needed help because I was struggling and I was bumping my head trying to figure it out on my own. And that was when I reached out to a coach. But before that, I realized that one of the mentors that I was following, he said this: your obstacles are your gifts in life. Now write that down. That's a teaching moment right there. Your obstacles are your gifts in life. And I'm like, what the hell are my gifts, right? Like, I know how to do spiritual stuff. I know this, I know that, but what are my obstacles? And then I looked back. I tried to do self-love. I know my lesson is self-love. So here's another teaching moment. You teach what you need to learn most. And so I know that my thing was self-love and is still self-love. So, all right, I tried doing self-love. Nobody said yes to me, because nobody's going to say, yes, I really don't love myself so much, because everybody will think that they love themselves too much, right? And and so I'm like, all right, so that's a good point there. So if my obstacles are my gifts in life, so what the hell are my obstacles? And I looked back at my relationships sucked big time. And I looked at my ex-colleagues' relationship, they sucked big time too, because that's what we were talking most of the time when we were up there in the air. We're talking about relationships all the time. So okay, I'm going to investigate this relationship coaching thing. So that was what I did. I Googled. As a successful entrepreneur, you need to make Google your best friend and not run to your coach or mentor every time you run into trouble, because successful people are self-sufficient. All right. So I went to Google and I searched love and relationship coaching. And so there I found this lady that I really vibe with. She has the life that I want. And everything. So I studied her for a while, followed her for a while, and that was when I decided I'm going to make the call to action, which is schedule a discovery call. So she was on a discovery call with me, and then yada yada yada, and then I'm thinking she must be thinking, oh, this is such an ideal client. But here's the problem: I had no money. I told her straight in the face, I really want to do this, and I think you can help me. Here's the problem: I have no money. But if you help me raise the money, not raise, like I don't want her to give me money, but give me a solution. Because at that point, I was really willing to do whatever it takes. Just give me an action plan, I will freaking do it. So she said, okay, I'll give you 2 weeks, and here's what you do, blah, blah, blah. And within 2 weeks, sure enough, the money showed up, and I was able to pay her the deposit. And within 3 to 6 months, I can't really remember the time right now, because it was just like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And so I made about 30K the first time. My yearly income became my quarterly income. So I'm like, whoa, I could really do this, right? And then fast forward to last year. So I made 6 figures consistently. Well, I didn't make 6 figures consistently. I made 5 figures, then 6 figures. And then last year, I lost it all because I lost my why. And I was in this coaching community, and everybody was showing their lifestyle and that kind of thing. And I wasn't light up about that. So then the client started to drop out, and I started to lose interest, because it was all about the money for me then. It's like the moment the client comes, like I'm going to be after the next client, after the next client. So it was a lot of a hunting mentality that I wasn't really completely happy with. Like, so success how I defined success was the amount of money I had in my bank account. And then at that point, I realized that no, money doesn't define me. I am who I am with or without money. So I made this very ridiculous intention to not have anything to do with money. And with every intention, that's what you're going to get. And so last year, my business went back 10 steps backwards. Clients were dropping out, and I really didn't know what to do. So that was towards the October 2014, December. And every year I would really sit down and ask myself, what the hell do I want to do for next year? Like, what lights me up and whatever it is. So whatever that I was doing wasn't lighting me up anymore. So I was doing love coaching, and I was teaching women how to make 10K. And it was just a lot of that money driven thing. And I wasn't really, I wasn't really happy about that. So what am I going to do this year? I was clueless. And so I sat down in my living room and I surrendered to God. And I'm like, okay, so what am I gonna do? And then this is where you co-create with God. God's not gonna tell you like you do this and that. He's not that sort. He gave us free will, and that's a gift and also a curse, right? But more of a gift, to be honest. And then I'm like, okay, so let me collect my experiences, because I abandoned cart, right? I abandoned being spiritual, and I just went into the masculine side on entrepreneurship, the startup, how to start a business, and blah, 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 and the hunting thing, and the blah, 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 blah. And then I lost myself. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to my spiritual roots. So that was when I sat down and I'm like, okay, so I love entrepreneurship. I want to be spiritual. And I still want to be spiritual, and I want to continue being spiritual. And so therefore the name The Spiritual Entrepreneurs was born. And I so quickly start a Facebook group, and now today it's more than 16,000 members. And it's super amazing. And my clients all come from there, and okay, whatever it is, that's another story for another day. And so so today, the entire success plan, if you don't take away anything, this one thing I want you to take away, okay? There was a time after I became successful, and I battled with myself, and I asked myself if I should mention God publicly. Because at that point, I wasn't like throwing stones at my face, but people were saying I was too spiritual, that I can't say that I'm spiritual. So that was when I went to the psychology side, which is good. And so there was this fear in me that, should I say that most of my success is credited to God, or what should I do? But the day I came, and so I remember in this workshop, I was battling myself. Should I say or should I not? What should I do? And I'm like, why not, screw it, I'll just say it. And I said it, and I held my breath. And I was expecting people to leave, but people didn't leave. So I'm like, didn't go. And so I continued. And that was the day that gave me the courage to include God in every situation of my life, and include God in every workshop, every thing that I do. And from that, I surrendered. And now I have this group of spiritual people who believes in God and the creator and divine universe and all the good stuff. So I sincerely believe that if you are struggling right now, you are out of alignment with your true self. And what that means is you are out of alignment with God. Right? So you are trying to figure it out all by yourself. You are trying to be God. I mean, really, with no offense, don't shoot the messenger here, because that's what I did. I was trying to figure it out all by myself because I thought I knew better. But maybe sometimes you do. But a lot of times it's that surrendering part to God and allowing support. Here's the thing with women, right? We don't ask for support. We put ourselves way below the hierarchy and put everyone else above us, and we try to sort everyone else's problem. And then here we are trying to figure out, and we are like suffering and torturing, and we don't say a word. Now, that's not serving anyone. Like right now, if I don't know anything, to be honest, like I'm good at Instagram. I'm good at Facebook, but I'm not good at Instagram. I, in fact, suck at Instagram because there's a different culture there. So recently I made a decision that I'm going to get good at Instagram, but I don't want to figure it out all by myself because I don't have the time to do it. So I just bought a course and I did it. And you know what? Because of what she taught me, I had new followers, like 10 new followers, which is like a big deal for me on Instagram, like these couple of days. And the things that she taught me I would never have figured it out by myself. Okay, so that being said, you need to know you need to get into reality right now. And I know reality may suck for you right now. I mean, right now, if I could be like a millionaire living that rich life, I want to be. But here's the thing, that's possible for you because all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. Even with this inspiration for these 3 days, God allowed it. I mean, through this channel, Google Hangout, and whatever it is, I'm telling you, everything that I do, I consult God, like God is my CEO. Like there's so many avenues right there. There's Webinar Jam, there's Google Hangout, there's Instant Teleseminar, there's so many stuff, right? And so I would just quiet myself and ask, like, what is the best way for me? Like, what is the best way to deliver this workshop? And Google Hangout popped up. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, that's right. I'm going to do this. For practical reasons as well, because it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel, and then therefore it's going to be disseminating out. So it just saves time. And so I really invite you to ask yourself right now, you know, really, and this is not about religious, take that religious out of the equation. God wants you to be rich right now. I read it somewhere that in the Bible, I think it says, God wants you to give you his kingdom more than you want it yourself. So it's not that he's against you, because that's what I used to think. He's against me, right? Like, why are you freaking against me? I'm good. I just want to do good. Why are you doing this to me? He is not against you. He wants you to have everything. Now, but here's the thing. There is this thing called gestational period, and there is this thing called divine timing. There is a flow in nature, and this is what I've learned when I was struggling. You know, all things, now that I look back, it's a blessing. But at that point, I really wanted to die. I really wanted to kill myself. Like the banks were chasing me, and it was just crazy. It's not even $1 a day. Sometimes it was just 50 cents in my bank account. It was really crazy. Can you imagine going from 6 figures and now the bank knocking on the door? It was really bad. So it was at that time that I learned that there is a flow in nature, and we cannot defy that flow, and we need to acknowledge our flow within ourselves. So, and I have also learned that in the middle of a storm, there's peace, and no storm can last forever. So whatever situation that you're in right now, it is not going to last forever. All right, it will end at some point. It took me 6 months, right? That's how long it needed for me to get over myself and realign myself, and there you go. And I haven't even told you this story yet. You know, I was struggling for the first part of the year. And the next part of the year, when I decided to just open my mind, I was traveling every single month. I went to Paris, I went to LA, I went to Narita, I went to Bali. Where else did I go to? I went to Hong Kong. And I went to Texas, Houston, right? I was traveling every single month. It's like this night and day that just flipped, this switch that just flipped. So you don't have to be struggling if you don't decide to. So struggling is a choice, literally is a choice. You may not believe me right now, but struggling is a choice, right? It literally is. So when I was struggling, I learned this. Everything that I have created, it's my responsibility. So I just told myself, this is an illusion that I've created. Okay, if I have created this, then what do I actually want? And here's the thing, I can tell you what I did when I was struggling. I held onto that faith 2 times, both times, right? I held onto the faith, and the first time was I could make $5,000. And at this time, I will get through this, and the time will come soon. I did not believe that I wasn't going to get it. I held on to the belief and the faith that I was going to live that life, and I will live that life. It was a non-negotiable for me, right? And so I wrote down on, you know, like a journal, get really a nice journal, and I wrote down every single day the life that I want. So here's something that I've learned about law of attraction, right? Law of attraction is like attracts like, literally. And if the book The Secret, like if it's that easy, everybody will be a skinny billionaire by now. I read the book. I read the book like from front to back to front. I even bought the movie, the tape for it. So if it were that easy, seriously, there will be happy people everywhere, right? People won't be struggling. And here's what I've also learned. You need to be hardworking, but hardworking without the good mindset is not going to get you anywhere. Otherwise, people in Africa will be very rich as well, because they're very hardworking. So that's not the case. So law of attraction 101. Like attracts like. You attract based on your frequency, based on how you feel about things. And most successful people know this. They create this in their mind's eye first. They first believe that they can do it, and then something changes within themselves. They first see it. There is no point in me giving you this fantastic strategy and then you are not believing that it could happen. When I was doing love coaching, this happens all the time. Like the woman that I talk to, like, you know, I know there are people who are getting love out there, blah, blah, because they're getting married and this and that. So why not me? So they don't believe they can achieve love. They don't believe they can have love. They don't believe that they have a Mr. Right. Other people can have it, but not them. So if other people can have it, you can too. Because in the book, Science of Getting Rich, Wallace Wattles did say, paraphrase, if there are people in your industry that are doing well and you know making lots of money, that means you can do it too. All right, so stop looking at other people and think that they can do it. There's something special. Remember, we're all created by God and we're all the same, right? We're all given the same equal opportunities, right? Yes, our soul lesson may be different. We may take a longer way, whatever it is, but if it's, you just make a decision. So Carl Jung talked about this. Until you make your unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate. So for Chinese, you know, there's a lot of things, it's fated. It's fated to be this. It's fated to be that. There is no such thing as fated. You co-create with God. You decide what kind of life you want to live. So you were unconscious then. You didn't know how. Like why would I want a bad life? Yeah, you may not, but you're focusing on that bad life. So you are manifesting your fears. So law of attraction states you are focusing on the fear. You are feeling the fear, and therefore that's what you're attracting, right? So then you ask, then how do I change that? Well, you change that vibration and you change the things. One of the quickest way I have also discovered is to be grateful for whatever that you have. Be grateful for the bad things, because to be honest, if the bad things don't happen, then you don't grow. Nobody grows when things are going well, right? So sometimes I really strongly believe when God puts me back down again is to remind me that, hey, God's still here, and to honor and worship, not worship, but honor him and allow him for support again. So that was what I did. So now I learned, I know better. I'm not gonna wait till like when I am all the way down. And when I was struggling back then, I remembered this saying, you know, when you are all the way down there, like God wants to remind you that he's the rock and the only way to go is up. And that was what I was focusing on. The only way to go is up. The only way to go is up. The only way to go is up. I'm not going to be in here too long. The only way to go is up. So I had to make a decision. Okay. So I forgot what I was to say. But anyway, that's what happens when there's no script. You just go free flow and then you forget. So anyway, yeah, before I forget, if you have any questions, you know, in the meantime, please type in all the comments, what you have learned, what's your aha. I would really love to read it much later on. However, that being said, I would open up the line at about in an hour's time, because we end at so I'm looking at my clock right now, it's 9:04 a.m. So about 9:45-ish or even 9:30, I will be opening up the line. And if you have a question, please type question and then what's your question, and I'm happy to answer for you, right? Because if you don't write question, I'm just going to go through the chat box really quickly. And so if you have no question, then I'm not going to read it now. I will read it much later on. So I would, please do me a favor and just type in question, and I would get that done. I'll get that answered for you. Alrighty, so that's so much on my story. I hope you have learned from my story that really all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. So the next couple of minutes, in the next hour or so, I am going to be, this is as much of a script as you're going to get from me. So what you're going to learn over the next couple of minutes is the exact steps that I took that got me out from struggling, right? So one thing I want you to know is that, you know, whatever, I don't want you to know, I don't want you to think that I'm irresponsible. I'm just doing whatever it takes. And I made myself bigger than money. So when I had money coming in, when I made my first 5K, I didn't really pay off my debt first. Well, that's not to say I'm irresponsible, okay? I wanted to maintain my frequency. I wanted to hang on to that frequency and see how that feels like, because like I say, law of attraction, 101 is like attracts like. So I actually just paid the minimum. So the banks will be off my off my back, and it's not gonna like just pressurize me. And I still had money to reinvest in my business, right? So I know investing in yourself is a huge deal. The first time it was like, what? But I really had no choice, because it's either a die or die situation. And so I really didn't have the time to figure it out by myself. I really wanted results like yesterday. So I needed to seek help. Help in a way, not in a victimized way, but help in an empowered way, because I really needed someone to guide me. All right. So let me just see if I have missed out everything. Oh, wrong page. Sorry. So I've told you my mantra, right? And I know some of you are like, so what's my why? Like, how can I discover my why? So here's how you discover your why. First of all, as I've mentioned, what are your obstacles in life? Okay. And the second thing is, to be honest, like, I know we are spiritual people having gifts. And let me tell you something, making money is one thing. There are 1,001 ways to make money. And at this point, yes, you may choose to monetize your gifts. That's one thing. But just think about this for a moment, right? If you have all the money in the world and you can't use your gifts to help someone, that is what drives us nuts. It's not so much about the money, because the money is just survival. But what kills me, will kill me, and might kill my passion, not me literally, is not using my gifts and not using my voice to make someone else's life a much better one. So here's another thing. So what lights you up? No, that's not the first. So what are you pissed off in life about? That pissed off energy is not a bad energy. To be honest, I mean, someone is pissed off enough to do something about this, to get clean water for the children in Africa, right? Somebody is pissed off enough to write something about genetically modified food, right? Someone is pissed off enough to see children being sold to prostitution. Somebody is pissed off enough to do something about this. So what are you pissed off in the world that you want to see that change? Because that may be that energy that will drive you. Obviously, to be honest, having debt, it's not driving you enough to do something about this, because if it's driving you crazy enough, you would actually do something about this and make the decision to clear the debt off. So it's not that driving factor for you. So what is the driving factor for you to actually get out of your butt, get your butt out of the seat to do something about this? Okay, what is driving you? It's not the debt, it's not the money. You know you need the money, but it's not driving you enough to do something about this. So what is holding you back? What is holding you back? What is holding you back? Right? And the next thing is, what really lights you up? What lights you up in life to actually get out of it? Like, right now I am so in love with my business, to a point where maybe I'm even obsessed with my business. I'm obsessed with my clients, not in the narcissist way or like what. I'm so obsessed. I love my business so much that I don't even need an alarm clock to just automatically just leap out of bed. This would not have happened when I was a stewardess. Like, I would snooze my way till the last minute, and then I can't snooze my alarm clock anymore. That's how you know that that's not your life purpose, right? Like today, it's like I just got out of bed, like, because I'm so excited about today. And every day that really, I'm super excited. I'm super excited about my community. I'm excited about what they're up to while I was sleeping. I want to catch up with them. I'm really excited about people. So what lights you up? The same thing, how that transformed my business last year was, I asked myself this question: what lights you up? And so my husband told me that he's planning to quit the airlines, and I'm like, no, I have not traveled with you in a long time, and there are so many places that I have not seen. I need to get my butt there. So that was when I asked myself what lights me up, and I want to do VIP days. And at that point in time, I didn't think too much. I thought, I had people in my community in the States, and there must be people in Houston, Texas, right? And so I put this link out, and the next day it was sold just like this on my Facebook page. And as you know, Facebook fan page, they only show 5% to your post to the people because they want you to advertise. That's how they make money, right? Which is fair enough. And so I didn't advertise for the post, and it just got sold. So I truly and strongly believe, although there is algorithms on social media, but there's this thing called divine intervention as well. So do your work, get your name out there, just continuously doing it, you will get there. All right. The thing is, you need consistency. You want consistent income, you need consistent marketing. So I was reading a book, and there are 3 types of people. You decide what kind of person you are. The first kind of person is they go get things done. They make things happen. Okay. The second type of people is they watch things happen. They watch. And the third type of person is they ask, what happened? What happened now? Like, so you decide where you are. So have you made a decision? Have you decided? So let me just go in the chat box if there are any, and let me know what kind of person you are. And I'm going to review to you what each person says. So the first type of person is they make things happen. The second type of person is they watch things happen. And the third type is they ask what happened. So where are you? Let me know. We have good comments. Okay. All right. I think it needs time for you to comment. I'm going to just refresh the page and see where is it, if I can see. Okay, anyway, I'm going to tell you, all right? Okay, so the first type of people are the millionaires, the go-getters, and they are the super rich. The second type of people are the employees, the middle-class people. And the third type of people, what happened, are the ones who are the lower income ones. So there's no judgment in all of that, because we kind of like climb through the ladder, right? So we start off with, what happened? Huh? And then we become an employee because that's what we were taught. And then we watch things happen, and we, ironically, we work for those who make things happen. So there's no right and wrong in this equation on this ladder. There is really no right and wrong. You decide what's best for you, right? And then you decide which role you want to play. There literally is no right and wrong. There is no right and wrong there's no right and wrong way to do life. It's just your way. And if that makes you feel good, then so be it. If it doesn't, then, then do something about this. All right. So the next thing is I eliminated all my excuses. I know there is fear. I know, because the first day I went for a networking event, as a stewardess, as a flight attendant, I had no qualms about talking to people. I was in my element. I was in the aircraft. That was like my second home. And I was paid to network with people and talk to do small chat, because that's part of my job. So I wasn't afraid of people. But when I went to my first networking event, I was shivering with fear. Like my knees were going, I could feel the table like shake. And I was so afraid that I would tumble the water cup, like my glass of water. So that was how bad it was, right? And there was this mantra that stuck in my head. Feel the fear, No, successful people feel the fear but do it anyway. I was way not, I was beyond not successful, right? But I remember this mantra. Please go ahead and write this down. Successful people feel the fear but do it anyway. And I'm like, okay, so successful people feel the fear, so that means they have fear and they should do it. So it's normal for me to have fears. So I did it. I stood up, had my 30 second. It was the longest 30 second ever. Trust me. It was like, gosh. And I did it. So here's the thing to overcome fear is to actually take one step at a time. You know, I have been procrastinating about exercising for a long time. Okay. And I have a very nice selection of clothes in my wardrobe that I cannot fit in, okay? It irritates the crap out of me, but it's not enough to make me do anything about that, okay? So out of self-respect, I do not make any intention and promises to myself to go jogging because I do not want to betray myself and lie to myself. So I allowed this to just go past day in, day out. And then every time I would have to attend an event, it would drive me nuts because my clothes from this selection became this selection. I had no selection at all. And it drives me nuts if I have to buy clothes that are L size and I can't fit into L and I have to buy an extra large. I live in Singapore, people's waists are this tiny, okay? So it drives me nuts, because I used to wear small or medium and it makes me really happy. And so it wasn't that driving force enough to drive me to lose weight or be healthy, not really, yeah, lose weight's one thing, and to be healthy again, because I know that's super unhealthy. My knees are going tuck, 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 right? So you know your body's breaking down. And I'm like, okay, so 6 days ago, okay, 6 days ago, I heard this loud, divine voice. You need to go practice and see what's the best way you talk to God. Like I don't, in the spiritual industry, they talk about there's clairsentient, there's clairaudient, there is claircognizance, there is I don't know why I can't remember now. But I'm clairsentient and claircognizance, right? I don't hear it, but I feel it. So how do you differentiate? For me, it was like, do you like my nails? By the way, self-care. So take time to. I take this opportunity to flash my nails. So it was like, how do I trust that voice? Like, how do I know, like, this is part of my ego voice or the divine voice? So usually the divine voice is really calm and soothing, and the ego voice, I know you can't do it, and it makes you feel like really lousy. So you have to differentiate, and this is where you need to fine-tune your relationship with God, and what's the perfect way you want him to communicate with you, and what's your perfect way. Trust me, a lot of people think like if you communicate with God, you gotta be all respectful and like, oh, I have to bow down. And my relationship with God, it's not like this, okay? Because I believe God is my best friend and I can be my true self in front of him. And if I have to be somebody that I'm not, then I don't know what God I'm serving. And I truly believe God wants the best out of me and he doesn't judge. So I can be who I am. So I do curse and swear when I'm with him, when I'm writing my journal, because I'm super pissed. I'm not, yes, I can tell you honestly, like, you know what? Pissed at you. I don't know what I've done. And so that's kind of my conversation with God. You may judge me. I don't really give a shit because God's not judging me, right? And so this other thing I want to just quickly say, one thing I got over is I really don't give a crap about anything what other people think of me. In the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill did said, some people, successful people may think that they are cold-blooded or they are ruthless or whatever it is. The truth of the matter is we know what we want and we're not going to let anyone and anything hold us back. And I don't have time for drama and story either, right? So that is why in my program, I do application process because I need to make sure that you are right for the program. I don't have to deal with your drama. I mean, we all have our situation, that's fine. But like, I can't do that. I don't want to deal with this. I want to make sure I'm working with high vibing people. It doesn't matter what your situation is, but as long as you're willing to do whatever it takes legally and morally, I will want to work with you. I want to help you, right? So that application process is super important. I am not McDonald's, right? I see myself as Ritz-Carlton, right? So whatever it is. And so you have to decide what's your best communication channel with God. And that was what I did. And I really took away all my excuses, um, and I wrote them all down. What's my excuses? And so going back to my running, oh, I forgot to tell you this. I want to tell you. I tell you, I've got 3-second memory. After 3 children, it's not easy to keep that memory. I need to buy ginkgo nuts maybe to, strengthen my brain, right? So that's part of doing whatever it takes to keep yourself healthy. And so I believe in synchronicity. Is that how you pronounce it? And so I heard this loud voice. You gotta put on your gear and go running. And I could see that in my mind already that I was running. So without a second thought, that was the day I put on my gear and I went out running. And I walked and I walked, and it was such a double blessing because my daughter came with me, and it's been such a long time since I had this mother-daughter bond, my youngest one, with me. And so I had such a good time. And although I don't like to be all sweaty and stuff, I thought I didn't like it because I really don't like that feeling. I was okay sweaty, and in fact, I was okay being smelly as well. I loved it so much. I've been out there consecutively 6 days, and 2 of the days I went there in the morning and in the evening. And yesterday I'm thinking, you know what? Why is it taking so long to lose that weight? Like I think I'm still in this position. You know what? During Chinese New Year, 3 people thought I was pregnant, and that was it. I was like, we do something about this, right? And so today I woke up. I'm like, you know what? I could actually see my waist again. I could see my legs becoming smaller and smaller. So a lot of times we want this instant manifestation. We want this instant gratification, but it doesn't work like this. You put a seed. You put a seed in a soil thing, right? It will take time to grow, given all the right ingredients and environment, whatever it is. It will take time to grow. Okay. So I invite you to write down all your excuses. What are your excuses? I don't have enough money. Is that true? Yeah, it might be true. I didn't have enough money too. I had $3 in my bank account. But I made that intention and that promise to myself. I was never going to betray myself and tell myself I can't afford it again. So I made the intention, and I was willing to do whatever it takes to get the money legally and morally, of course, right? Without begging or stealing or borrowing, along those lines. Because I have this best friend. I knew she would save me. I know she'll lend me the money, but I knew that wasn't the solution to my problem because the next month is going to be happening again. So I might as well learn how to make money and master money. So I wrote down all my excuses. So I invite you to write down all your excuses, because when it comes to the light, then it cannot be in the dark anymore. And then what's next? You have a choice, really. Now you can decide to actually do something about this or not. There's no judgment. You decide what's good for you. But I decided to do something about this because it's just really driving me nuts. I gave the excuse like, maybe I don't have enough money. That's the number one excuse. I don't have enough money. Well, first of all, to just dive a little bit into that, you don't have the money right now. It's because you haven't made the decision yet. Money fulfills a purpose. And if you talk to any successful people, whatever great idea and big ideas that they have right now, they may not have the money yet. That's because there's no reason for it to show up yet. But yet, when these people make a decision, like they want to do this big project, once they set their intention and their mind to it, then they create a plan. They see who can help. They place people in their project who can help me do this, and they seek help to bring this idea into life. So I love entrepreneurship because it's literally creation, going from the etheric realm to now in reality. I love it so much. Like, the Changemakers program, it was just an idea, and now it's real. It's a reality, and women are changing their lives, and they are just, I don't know. I mean, their lives are changed. They're making money, and so it was an idea at the beginning, and then now it became reality. So I love entrepreneurship, and my new program, which is owning it, helping women own it, be the women of influence. It was an idea just a week ago, and now it's reality because I have 2 ladies who just joined me, like in this last couple of days. So it's now a reality for me. And so what excuses do you have? Not enough money, not resources. Is that really true? Then I invite you to look at the people around you who are successful. How did they become successful? Read their stories, and then that will just get rid of your mindset and your excuses, right? And the last, and write them all down, right? And then I want you to really make a decision. Like, once you make that decision, you have to promise yourself. You can't go back and forth like, well, I want to do this, I want to do this, yeah, maybe. No. See, here's the thing I've realized. Once you make that decision, like, maybe the roof will fall, your car will crash, like the dog died, somebody went in the hospital. Situations like this will pop up, not because it's a sign from God. In the past, I would used to think, oh my God, maybe it's a sign from God. I'm not meant to do this. No, it's not a sign from God, right? It's just your ego mind creating these situations for you. I mean, I don't think it really wants to create situations that your dog died or whatever it is. No, it's just sometimes how it works. Like the window will crash or whatever it is. It's just a perception in your mind that it wants to keep you where you need to be. It thinks that you are dying. Your ego mind, it's not good or bad. It's the number one reason why your ego exists is to keep you alive. So you're not going to walk off a cliff and say, I think I can fly, and you jump off and just crash and burn. So that ego mind that, you better don't jump, because you are gonna die if you jump. So that's what the ego is all about. So you need to be friends with your ego, and that was what I did. And that's taking one step at a time, literally, like overcoming that fear. And then you look back, oh, that wasn't that bad. And then you take another step. Oh, that wasn't that bad. I'm still alive. Like, whatever I need is still here. And then that will give you that courage. So you take the next step. You don't learn to fly when you can't even crawl. All right. So you take that next step, what's available in front of you, and then it will get you to where you are. Like in the book Tao Te Ching, it says a journey to 1,000 something starts with one step, right? So Rome wasn't built in a day. So you write all those excuses down, and then you look them in the eye and ask them, are you going to allow those excuses to hold you back? All right. Those women who joined me, yes, they have a money problem. They have a money issue. I used to have a money problem, and I thought it was also. But when they made the decision, the money showed up for them as well. And they made it a non-negotiable to make that happen for them. So I invite you to ask yourself, what's your non-negotiable in life? Are you going to watch other people? Because it really pained me to watch other people do it. And while I'm like, hey, yeah, you can do it. I'm like, well, I'm thinking I could do it too. They're probably not as pretty as me or as smart as me, but yet they had the audacity and they were fearless enough to go after their dreams. So in life, about success is not about the prettiest will win, the most coaches, the one who hires the most coaches will win, or the one who is the prettiest, the smartest will win, or the most hardworking. Life is not about that. In life, it's about deciding how much you want that success, and then make that decision no matter what to actually do it. So, and then you course correct along the way. Like I said, therefore I said, I'm not going to give you a script. There is no script in life, because you course correct on a daily basis. Like today, it's a success to me. Tomorrow, I may be doing it differently. I don't know. So I will go back and reflect about the entire process, what I could have done better, what I'm going to be taking out, and what I should. So life is all about course correcting. And therefore, there is no guide for me and say, you do this step 1 and step 2 and blah, blah, blah. There is a formula to success. Success leaves footprint. However, you still need to make your own good judgment as to what is working best for you, and how is that for, whatever it is for you. Like, I started my business with the intention that I needed it to be a location independent business so that I could travel, but traveling wasn't in my mind. I was planning to actually move. Then I do not want to start all over again if I do decide to move out of Singapore into some yummy other places. So that was my decision. You need to figure that out on your own, because that's not what I can do for you. And what's your desire? Like, really, desire, love, gratitude is like the highest vibration ever. And so stick with that vibration and you'll get there. Right. So of course, the next thing is I got myself a coach, mentor, and I surrounded myself with like-minded people. I stayed away from toxic people. I literally stayed away from toxic people. And what toxic people feels like. No judgment around there. It's just that at that time, my mindset wasn't strong enough. So I literally had to stay away from naysayers as well, till my mindset was strong enough. And then I was able to integrate back into society, so to speak, right? So you have to really think about that. And at that time, because I wasn't teaching wealth, I was teaching love, I learned to raise my profile, right? Although I was struggling, people didn't have to know that I was struggling, and I wasn't teaching wealth as well. So I didn't have to like walk that talk, because No, so you choose what's comfortable for you. And in the healing coaching consultancy industry, there's a lot of like feeling of being a fraud. So I can't teach money, although I knew I wanted to, but I need to like get over my money story first before I could do that. So I didn't want to feel like a fraud. So I taught people how to find love, because I am married and I have 3 children, and so that's what a normal, not normal, like you know what I mean, by a woman wants. They want what I have, and that was what I have. So I sold that story. So I raised my profile. I knew when I went out there networking, I was dressed nicely, I was well groomed, and that's part of me being a stewardess, and it was a non-negotiable for me. And I think as well, first impression really counts. We are human beings, we judge. There's nothing wrong with judgment. I mean, unless you are like really like putting that person down. Again, that judgment is also part of keeping you safe. I mean, you wouldn't want to work with, I mean, no offense, but if a homeless people were to come to you and say, I want to strike $1 million deal with you, you're not going to say yes, right? So that first impression kicks in. So you want to make people feel good when they're around you. And in the book Think and Grow Rich, he also says, or was it Science of Getting Rich? I can't remember. The impression of increase, right? So one thing I've learned now is to actually get out of survival mode, because to be honest, can there be more money? Yeah, for sure, right? But until and unless you get out of survival mode, you are going to be focusing on you. Now, let's be honest, we are spiritual entrepreneurs. We provide a service, and it's really not about you. If you make it all about you, then your pitch, your sales, your copywriting, your energy is going to be all about you. And the good and bad thing about working with spiritual people is that they feel you. Like, I would close a sale over the line without makeup, and just being present with them, and how I made them feel, and they would say yes to me. And that's why you need to have influence, right? If you have no influence, you can't influence in a good way to people. You can't influence people to say yes to themselves, and you can't impact, you can't inspire, and definitely there is no income. So you need to work on your influence. That's why my new program, it's about helping women own it and become that woman of influence in their community. All right. So the next thing is that I burned my bridges. I didn't have a plan B, to be honest. I had plan B all day long, and my plan B was my mom. She would save me in every situation. So maybe in your mind, you're still waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for a plan B, but guess what? There's no plan B. Nobody's going to come to save you, and that was what I realized. Nobody was coming to save me. There is no plan B. I burned my bridges. It was literally a die or die situation. I had to do it. I had no choice. So part of doing whatever it takes. After I gave birth, the second week I was already seeing clients. Clients were coming to my house then. I didn't know technology that well yet, so my clients came to my house. And by the third week of confinement, like the third week after I gave birth, I was out there networking. And because I was out there networking, I met a wonderful woman who nominated me for the award Extraordinary Woman 2013. And I actually won the Best Working Mother. And I knew at that point in time I needed to raise my profile as well. So I knew media was very important to me, because I was a nobody. And from a nobody to become a somebody, I need this fast track. So I needed women of influence to talk about me. I needed people I needed to take photos with people of influence. That's what I knew. And so I joined a network and I got into media. And today I'm in Cosmo. I'm good friends with Harper's Bazaar. I was on Simply Her, and I went on radio, and I went even on a television series. So that was how I knew what I knew at that time that's best for my business. I needed to raise my profile very, very quickly, and that was what I did. And I networked a lot. I started locally. I did a lot of workshops. I made friends, and I built relationships over time. And you need to really get out of survival mode in order to build good relationships and lifelong partnerships. If you are always thinking about you, then it's going to be always about you. So like I said, spiritual people know it, right? The good thing, the good and bad thing, right? They can feel it. And you can't fake energy. Okay, even if your clientels are not spiritual people, they can feel it. They have sixth sense. Whether you are feeling, is it all about the money? And the thing is, in a sales conversation, if you focus on the money, that's what they're going to be focusing on. So learn right now to not make it about you, because you are in service, right? You're offering a service, so it cannot be about you. And as a result, yes, you will benefit the rewards, and that is the monetary terms. Okay. So what else do I want to talk about? Let me see. I think I have. Right. And then, so that's this other thing that I've learned from Jim Rohn, is that if you want to change your income, you have to change your personal philosophy, right? It's your personal philosophy that creates the life for you. So I want to I want to teach you how to change your BS, which is your belief system, because your belief system is the unconscious thing, the unconscious driving force that creates the thoughts, and then from the thoughts creates your action, and from your action it creates the result. So your result is actually an effect and it's not a cause. So the good news is, if you want to change your result, then you just change the cause. No, if you want to change your result, which is the effect, yeah, you just change the cause. Sounds good? So what you need to do is then change the belief system right here, and then everything will change. Now here's the thing, right? If you want to experience something different that you have never experienced before, then you have to do something different. Like, I have not done this 3 days workshop before because I wanted a different result. I wanted to really get my name out there. I wanted to create more value. It's irrelevant to me whether or not you want to apply to the program, because I know that the program is good to go. There are already 2 women, and I know there are more women going to apply. So right now for me is, of course, I'm going to share with you the program, but it's more so important for me to give you information, good information that you can take away and actually work on, right? And you can see effect right away. So it's to change your belief system. So if you have not done this, or if you want a different result, then you have to do something really radically different. Change change the way you do things. Get out of comfort zone. I know comfort zone is like getting up. It's like you need to overcome your fears, but you need to constantly challenge yourself. When you constantly challenge yourself, that's when you expand, and that's when you grow as well. And then it's going to get easier and easier and easier. Let's put it this way. There will never be an end destination, right? It's a journey. There is no destination unless you check out. So even if you reach a certain level, you would want to go to another level, and that level is brand new to you. And that's when there are other things, other demons that you got to overcome to get there. Because if you knew how to do it, if you were already that person, you would have already gotten that result, right? And that's part of becoming the better version of ourselves. That's part of growing into the woman that we are born to be. I know it's ironic. We are born as this perfect being, and then we accumulate all these unconscious things and these things that does not serve us, and now we are unlearning again. That's just life, and that's just the cosmic joke, and that's just the journey of us as a human being. So deal with it, right? So how to change your belief system is to actually identify your results right now. I want you to get into reality. Yes, you decide from where you want to be, but you get into reality right now. You decide. I mean, not decide, but you decide you want change. And once you make that decision, you have to stick to that commitment. Like, I'm not going to change no matter what. Okay. So, and then from that space, you look at your results right now. Lack of money. What is it? Like, no relationships, business not growing, not enough clients. Then you trace it back. What's your belief system that is fueling or supporting this result? It's very simple, right? Like, if I'm not having enough, I don't have enough money. What's my belief system? I don't deserve money. I don't deserve abundance. Nobody likes me. I care about what people think of me. Blah 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 blah. That's the main thing, right? Like, if you want to be a woman of influence, if you really want to really get your name out there, then you really cannot care about what other people think about you, because then it's going to prevent you from doing your good work. If you allow negative comments to just pull you and drag you down, then you are allowing the environment to control you. Okay, you're not the woman that you say you are. So learn to not care. I mean, if it's triggering you, then go work on the triggers, right? So what's the belief system? Like, I don't have enough clients. So part of not having enough clients, it's also what actions are you not taking? Are you worried about asking for the sale? It's usually, is it? Are you worried about asking for the money? Are you worried if I ask for the money? Am I worried about what other people will think of me? Will people think that I'm greedy, needy, whatever it is? That's usually the story, right? So if you're not having enough clients, are you doing enough marketing? Why are you not doing enough marketing? Are you afraid of visibility? Are you afraid of what other people? So it's again going back to your self-esteem and self-confidence and how you see yourself. Okay, so you change your belief system. So once you identify that, then this is where you have the permission to dream. There are lots of women like, I don't know what I want, but you do know what you want. What's those secret thoughts that you have in your mind, right? Like, at this point, I would really invite you to really not tell people about your dreams yet and keep the energy intact unless you really trust those people, because you don't want, if your mindset is not strong enough, and if you tell someone and they're going to say, you know what, I don't believe you. And then you're like, oh yeah, maybe you're right. So I want you to keep that energy intact. So therefore, you need to hang out with women, a community that gets you, like who are just like you, like they're going after it. They get it. They really, really get it. Okay. So that community is very important. That was vital for me as well, right? I mean, I stayed away from the naysayers, but I need to replace that with people who believed in me, because the journey of entrepreneurship is really, it's really lonely. And so you really want, you can't do this by yourself. A woman can have it all, but she can't do it all. And if without my husband's support, oh, you know what? When I first told him, I told him a couple of times I wanted to hire a coach, and he's like, no, you know what our situation is, blah 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 blah. But finally one day I just did it. I did tell him, I just did it, because that was what I had to make the decision on my own, like as a woman, right? I had to make that decision on my own. I couldn't look left and look right, and that was the beginning of it. And then he saw the results of me having a coach and my results, and now he's like, you know what, darling, you just make that decision. I know you know what's best for yourself. So at that point, my husband was just mirroring my insecurity. So therefore, it is important to keep that intact and learn to make decisions by yourself and for yourself, because this is part of being successful. I mean, nobody is going to make decisions for you, and if you do, then you're just handing your life over and away to other people, which is not very empowering, and it's not going to make you happy. So that was what I did. I did it behind his back, and now there's no complaints whatsoever. All right, it's just me and my decisions, and I learned to trust my decision. And so then, create a result that you so desire, the things that you have written down in your journal, like what you want to achieve, have how many clients, the life, you're traveling, this car, this is that, the clothes that you're wearing, and so on and so forth. And then ask yourself, what's the belief system that you need to fund this action? I need to believe in myself. I need to love myself more. I need to stop penny pinching. I need to invest in a coach. I need to invest in a mentor. I need to invest in information. I need to take action. So I'm an action taker. So start with I am, because I am is a very powerful statement. I am loved. I am successful. I am worth it. I deserve whatever it is. I deserve support. I deserve to have money show on time for me, right? So money is support. I mean, support is a huge deal. A lot of women I found who struggle with relationships, men struggle with money as well. For whatever reason, not the very successful. I mean, even the successful ones, right? I mean, if they are so successful, then why are they not having this man thing coming into their lives? So it's really this self-love thing. And the more you love yourself, the more you not date men who are going to cheat and break your heart. And if you love yourself so much, you're not going to charge $10 if you so desire to charge $1,000. Of course, that's a different conversation. You have to make sure that the service that you deliver matches up. Okay, so you start from where you are. If right now, if your frequency is at $150, then you do that $150 and don't undercharge yourself. That's not part of self-love. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed the workshop so far. Let me know. I know I have some questions. Go ahead and type the question right now if you want me to answer your question? Where did it go? Whoa. Okay. I have a few people here online. I know Amanda's here. I'm super happy. Hello, Tanya. Nice to meet you. Hello, Irma. Hey, Christine. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting on my behalf. So I am going to give you some more time to type in the questions because I would love to answer them all at one go and not break them up. So in the meantime, while you are typing your question, I am going to talk to you about my new and upcoming program, which is called Own It, Be a Woman of Influence. As I have mentioned earlier on, if you want to really, to be honest and completely honest and transparent with you, of course, we want to use our gifts to change the world. Of course, we want to use our gifts to make a difference in life. But you know what? That's bullshit if you are still in survival mode. That's bullshit if you are not creating change in your life for yourself, So I have decided when I was, in that mode of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm in such a terrible situation now, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at my life and I really didn't like it. I looked at my life and I found it really, really boring. That was when I made the decision that I'm going to stop trying to inspire people. That was when I'm going to stop trying to change the world. The person that needs to change is me. So I decided that I am going to live an exciting life. I decided I'm going to live the rich life and be interesting for myself, not for anyone else. Because if you are in a relationship, try changing a man. Try changing a man. You know that it's harder to, it's literally mission impossible. So that was when I decided I was going to live an inspired life and influence myself first. And as a result of that, people came along, literally. So I invite you to look at your life right now and ask yourself, are you living an inspired life? Are you influencing yourself to make changes? Are you able to influence the people around you? Because if you're not, then how can you influence a stranger, right? So therefore, this is so important. You have to own who you are first. You have to own your power first. It has to start with you because you are the center of your universe and not the other way around. And without influence, there are so many clients who hired me without seeing me, just seeing me on my YouTube channels or my website, or just have a brief conversation with me, or who are just following me silently, decide to work with me. So you need to have that level of influence. Otherwise, you can forget about inspiring people. You can forget about impacting lives, and let alone making great and good income. Okay? So if you know that you have bags and bags full of certification, but you're not getting there, and you know that you need to become that woman of influence, and if you are ready to become that influence, then I invite you to apply for this program. I'm not going to tell you all the details here right now. It's going to be group program. It's going to be a group training. There's a community for you. There's private calls with me. And I want you to pay attention to this. I am gifting you a 2-day live event with me, completely free, and that's worth at least $15,000. And we're going to be meeting in San Francisco in June. And I'm going to be covering you one night, twin sharing one night, because I know that sometimes we need this deciding factor, and I'm going to give that to you as well. It's worth $15,000, but your investment is way lower than that. And I would gift you 1 free ticket to my LA party, and party with other spiritual women, and that's free for you as well, complimentary ticket. And more good stuff to come. So I would love for you to apply and see if you fit the bill. And we start March the 9th. I know it's like not much time, but why would I want to delay your success 3 months later? And why can't we start now? I'm sure you want to be successful like right now. So I want to start right now. I really, the number that I got is 15 people, but really it's a good to go program. So with or without you, I'm going ahead. And so you decide if you want to come along on this journey with me and 2 other fantastic, awesome women who are go-getters and going to be the women of influence. And let me tell you something, when women of influence hang out together, they can change the world. It's a ripple effect. It's going to be powerful. You know, try breaking a chopstick. 1 chopstick, it breaks really easily. And if you have a bundle of chopstick and you can't break it. So it's important that we hang out together as women of influence so that we can inspire each other to change the world and become the woman that we are born to be, and not this like, can I afford it, like this and that. No. So I want you to answer these 2 questions. If money is not an issue, what would your answer be? Would you say yes? And second of all, if I'm the mentor for you, am I the mentor for you? If both questions are yes, then regardless of whatever your situation is, I want you to apply, because when you apply, it activates the manifestation molecules and the money will show up, and we will work together to create a plan for you. Okay, so first of all, ask yourself, if money is not an issue, is this a program for you? Own it. Be a woman of influence. Do you want to be a woman of influence? Do you want to influence your community? Do you want to leave a legacy? Number 2, is Elise, that's me, the right mentor for you? If the answer is yes, and you want to hang out with me, travel with me, and just spend more time with me, and me helping you and promoting you, then I want you to apply regardless of your situation, because the money's not going to show up until you make a decision, right? So the link to apply is elise-v2/own-it-woman. I'm going to type it all in and it's going to be all on the page, so don't worry, I've got you covered. So I know I have a gift for you. I know I have a gift for you. Are you ready for it? So let me just go back to the questions. I have a gift for you. I do. I really, really do have a gift for you. So as part of me talking to God and asking him what's the best gift that I can give to you is, well, I'll be going to LA to host my 3-day live event with the Changemakers. And so let me see. As you know, I'll be hosting a live event in LA for my party. So I would love to give, what feels right for me right now is 3 people a seat to the last day of my mastermind with the Changemakers. And of course, the whole day it's covered. You spend a day with us in the event, and then you get to attend the session for free. So I would love to give 3 scholarships, or 3 seats. Scholarship sounds a bit like serious. I want to make this fun. Like 3 seats to these 3 women. So if I want you to write to me to info@elise-n.com within the hour, because as you know, this is not available to the replay viewers. Within the hour, why you should be one of the 3 to attend the event. This ticket alone is worth, I'm telling you, at least $10,000. I'm giving 3 people this opportunity to hang out with me and the Changemakers. So you have an hour from now. So it's, let's just take plus minus, it's 10 o'clock in the morning right now. So that's 9 Eastern, 9 876, that's 6 p.m. Pacific. You have 1 hour to think about this and write to me, because successful people know what they want, and successful people, they are on the ball, on the spot, and spontaneous. So this is me training you to be spontaneous and going after it. All right, 3 people, it's worth $10,000 within an hour. Anything, if it's 10:01, now it's 10, so it's 11:01. No, you're out. I will not consider. You have to write your story within the hour. It doesn't have to be long. Please spare me the entire details. So just write within like 150 words why you think you deserve this, right? In an hour, within the hour, and we will notify you by email. All right. So in the meantime, if you want to work with me over the next 6 months, I highly invite you to just apply and just see what happens from there. All right. So I'm going to go back to the questions right now. So let me know, how's this workshop for you so far? Are you enjoying today's session? Come back again tomorrow, because I have more information and more teachings to teach you. And also, please invite your friends, right? Invite your friends over to the party. From Amanda, question: how do you know if you're relying too much on God? Do you ask him everything? Well, when I talk to God, I don't see myself as a victim mode and like expecting him to solve all my problems. I stand before him as an empowered woman. I stand before him not expecting him to give me all the answers. He is like my partner. So we are sitting on the same level, right? He is my CEO. I'm the director. And so we're just having a meeting. And so he is open to my suggestions. You know, I know he knows what's best for me, but I don't come before him as a victim. I don't come for him like, please help me. No, I don't. Of course, there are moments where I bitch and I complain and I yell and I scream. Yes, but that's because he's my best friend, and I needed to let that energy out, and I needed to let, of course, I don't have to let him know because he already knows that, but I just wanted to have that energy out and to let him know that this is how I'm feeling. I just needed to say this out to him in his face. I usually do this in writing. The first page, if I'm really super pissed, it doesn't happen regularly now because I didn't put myself in the situation. So right now it's like me going in, all right, so I really, like, if I have an inspired thing to start, like maybe a new program, and I would just sit with the idea, like, okay, I want to start a new program. What is it? What can I do? And then that is when we start brainstorming together, and I start opening up my creative mind and seeing what's possible. So part of being a successful woman entrepreneur is to activate your entrepreneurial mind and to see opportunities, right? Opportunities are everywhere. Opportunities comes in disguises, and that's where the book, I think in which Napoleon Hill said something like this, or Science of Getting Rich, I can't remember, but one of them, they said that. So opportunities comes in disguises, and you've got to recognize that. And so this is how it starts. I want to do a new program. I think I want to do something. I feel like I need to do something more. And I set the intention, and then I would get inspired, and I would like check back with him, like, how do you feel about this? And if it feels good in my body, like every part of my body that feels good, then I would start promoting it. And as it has shown, like, it worked. Like the Own It program, to be honest, I only started promoting it actively today. Like I did it in one of my calls 1 week ago, and 2 ladies signed up. And in my mind, I would ask him questions. You know, if you want a better answer, learn to ask better questions, right? Don't ask me, why is it happening to me? Don't ask situations like this. How is he going to answer you, right? Like, I will ask, so what is the best thing? Show me what I need to learn. Show me, like, give me what's the number that's best for this program. So the number that popped up is 15. So I know it's capped at 15, but anything below that, it's good. You know, it's really good. Like now that's 2, it's good. I'm not saying, oh man, damn it, why shouldn't be more? Of course, there can be more, but he gave me the idea that it's 15, so I would honor that and not try to do something like horrendously overboard, like 200. So I'm going to take that number as 15. The cap is 15, regardless what happens. Same thing with my Changemakers program, right? I asked for a number. The number that I wanted, of course, 25. The number came to me was 10. And then I asked again, so what's the real number? And he gave me 8. And true enough, there are 8 women in that program, right? So to be honest, I don't come before him as a victim. I don't come before him like expecting him to solve all my problems. I know he wants the best for me, and that's the relationship that I have with him. You must believe that God wants the best for you. This is just the universe. They want more for you. They want more. Are you allowing that more abundance, whatever that it's out there, to happen for you, right? So I hope I'm answering that. Amanda, let me know if I've answered your question. Let me know if I didn't. But I want to change, Irma. What do you want to change? Come apply for the not the Changemakers, the Own It Women of Influence, and let's work things out. What advice did the coach give you to manifest the money to work with her? Good question. Well, she didn't give me an advice. She gave me a deadline. It was 2 weeks. So I had to manifest. I had to write down exactly what I needed. It was a small amount, but it was a huge amount then to me. She gave me a deadline, and having a deadline helped me a lot. And I worked on my mindset. I listened to visualizations, like it's there, the money's already here, not having a lot of information. So here's the thing, right? Sometimes having information overload kills you, but starting with the beginner's mind helps all the time. So we live in the era right now where it's not that we don't have enough information, we have too much information. So what I did was just really I was so focused. I saw myself in this program. No matter what, I will be in this program. It's a non-negotiable for me. I had to make this work, and I challenged God, right? Like, if you so put me in this place and you gave me the desire, then you show me how I need to do. So this is when I didn't sit back and relax and just and then expect the money to fall. I took action. This is what spiritual people need to do. You need to take action with the right mindset. Otherwise, umming and humming, I'll be a skinny billionaire by now. I wouldn't be doing this, right? I'll be on some island on Fiji or whatever, and just, I don't know what I'll be doing. But anyway, I'll be a skinny billionaire by now if that umming and humming works. So she gave me a deadline, and that helped a lot. So that's for the Own It Women. The Own It course starts on March the 9th, and that's a deadline. If you see yourself in there, then the money will show up for you. It works all the time for me. So here's another thing that I know to invite God in is I ask him, if you so decide and think and feel like I should be in this program, then show me the money, right? Otherwise, how am I going to pay that person? And she helped me and whatever, and the money shows up on time all the time. There was only one time when I was really, really struggling, and I asked if it's meant to be, then let the money show up. The money didn't show up, and 3 months down the road, I knew why, because this is to save for another story. But she wasn't the right mentor and coach for me because she did some horrible stuff, right? So God knows best. And every time I would ask, let the money show up, and the money will always, always show up for me. So that's a great question. She gave me a deadline, and that helped a lot. That moved the timeline very quickly, and that made me want to take action. Otherwise, I'm going to sit all day and like, what, one day, someday, and whatever it is. So Irma, question. When people say take action, how do we know what is the right action at the point we are in our business? Is there a right way or wrong way to take a step forward? Okay, when people say take action, it really means go talk to people. Okay, so I know we live in the world of the internet, and online world seems really attractive. But when I took action, I literally got outside of the house and go talk to people and brainstorm with people. I had lots of conversations over coffee sessions with people and go contact people. And when, like I told you, in the first 6 months, I was really struggling. And then when my Facebook group reached 5,000 people, And then that was when I had to download and a go ahead sign to teach Facebook group marketing, because I grew my group to 5,000. And so I did this. I followed the formula, right? I mean, I did a 3-part video series and then a live stream. And after live stream, one person signed up. I'm like, what? Okay, so I'm grateful that one person signed up, but I needed more. So let me tell you something. You know, I've done everything wrong. If you are wanting to make money right now, then group programs are not your fastest path to cash. Your fastest path to cash is one-to-one, one-on-one clients, okay? But that was what I did. And so if I knew better, I would have done better. So I started out with a very affordable workshop, because that was that level that I was at. I was just starting out, and one person signed up, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to make a profit if just one person signs up. So I contacted people, gave them some friendship deal, and asked them to sign up. So that's taking action. Like, I really wanted this program to go. And then I sent emails and emails, like almost spamming people to join. And in the end, it was like, I think about 10 or 11 people that joined the program. So that's taking action. And another thing about spamming people, right? I mean, not really spamming. I mean, people will unsubscribe anyway. So I couldn't be bothered whether they were going to unsubscribe, because I was sending too many emails, but I wanted to reach my goal. So that's about taking action and talking to people who can help you, and really just talking to people. That's the action. And offering at that time, after I got out of my MLM situation, I didn't know what to do, because I know business background, but something in me just said, just do free readings. And that was what I did. I bribed people ethically. If you like my page, I'll give you a free reading. And from that free reading, I had a client. Like, it wasn't a lot, but at that time it was a lot to me. So I had a free client from there. I mean, I had a real client from there. And so I did a lot of pro bono stuff at the beginning. I contacted my ex-clients and say, hey, would you like to come for a healing session in exchange for a testimonial and a small investment? It was really small, like $30. And so that was like the momentum going on in your business, right? You have to have momentum in your business and not just sit down. So I would rather give free in exchange for testimonial to at least have some energy going on in my business. And it was what I did. So one of the things that I've learned is, if you want to make 10,000, then how much value are you giving to the world? Is it equivalent to 10,000 and more or not? Right? So if you give more value to the world, that's what's going to be attracted back to you in monetary terms. So that's what I mean by taking action. And you have something on part 2 of the question, which is, hang on, let me go find the question. Oh my God. I mean, it has to feel right for you. There is no right and wrong, really. I mean, was it a wrong decision then to make the decision that I didn't want anything to do with money? At that point, it probably was a wrong decision. But right now, when I look back, everything happens for a reason. And as a smart business owner, you need to learn to identify what's not working almost immediately and firefight there and then. And course correct. So there is no right and wrong. Every business is unique because your clients are different. You are different, right? You may not want to do this 3-day virtual live workshop thing, but I do. Like, someone else will want to do it. So there is no right and wrong. It's the right decision for me, but it may not be the right decision for you. But at the beginning, I attempted everything. I was very fearless. I attempted everything I knew. I attempted the 3 video series, the launch. I attempted everything. So I know. It's not like I don't know. I'm ignorant. I'm naive. So then I fine-tune to what's working for me. I find that the application process is working for me because I want to get to know the women and to make sure that they are the right fit for this program. And they really sincerely want to do this. So that's what's working for me. And that's may change over the next couple of months. I don't know, right? But so far, this has been working until it doesn't work anymore. To know what's your the thing is just to take the next step, and in your guide, and that's why you need to have a mentor to guide you to take that next step, or she will inspire you to take that next step. She will, like, the things that she does, like, oh my God, I'm going to do it. It's so inspiring, and I will do it. All right. So therefore, what's the right action at that point? So it depends on what you're trying to create at that point. So like now I want people to apply for my program, and therefore the right action would be doing this. I could replicate what I did in the Changemakers program, which is to do one post. In fact, I had one post and it was a 6-figure launch. That's it. So my mindset was really strong, and my intention and was really, really strong at that point in time. I really wanted to get this done. I could have done it, but at this point in time, I just want to experience something different. I want to experience this. I want to give you value. First, before I invite you to join the program. So that worked at that point in time. At this point in time, it may work. I don't know. I haven't tried. Maybe I'll do it. I'll just do a post and see what's the response. There will be a response. If you take an action, there will be a response. It's either no response or there's a response. So even if there's no response, it's a good response, because then you then can look at your mindset. What is actually stopping you? You know, sometimes when we do like workshops, and I see this over and over again, what if nobody comes? That's what you are expecting. Nobody comes. You know, even when I first started, there was one lady that showed up in my living room. Yes, I started in my living room, and that's okay. I still continued. The key is continue and consistently grow yourself to reach that level, right? Of course, now I'm not going to host it in my living room, and if I host something now, there will be definitely more than one person that joins. So you also need time to raise your profile, okay? I hope I've answered your question, Irma. If I didn't, please let me know. I would not care about anything else if, as you were going to be my mentor. You inspire me to keep calm and carry on. You know what, Amanda? It's enough of this drama. You need to apply for this program, own it, and be the woman of influence, so that the other women and me can really kick your ass and get you out of this zone and bring your gifts out there to the world. You know what? You're doing a disservice, not to yourself. You are doing a disservice to God and those who are contracted to work with you. So here's the thing. If people can't see you, if people can't find you, you won't be hired. It's that simple. Okay? So you need to apply for that program. What's a good process for setting prices for someone's own programs? What's a good process for setting prices? I'm assuming your own program or someone else's. I don't know. If it's someone else's program, mind your own business, not your business to bother, right? Let them figure it out. What's a good product? If it's your own programs, then when I started, to be honest, I started from where I am. Like right now, if Warren Buffett charges $1 million to have lunch with him. Would I want to charge 1 million? Oh, hell yeah. Would you want to charge 1 million? Oh, hell yeah. But are you the woman yet? Probably not. Am I the woman yet? Probably not. So you know that, right? So how to charge is, the amount of, you can charge whatever amount you want. The value needs to exceed that amount for people to say yes to you. So you need to be of a certain of it. You need to be a woman of influence, some sort, to command high prices, right? Think about this. You would pay $1 million to have lunch with Warren Buffett because he's a man of influence. And if you ever be in his vortex, you will know you will make money. Millions, you will triple that amount, right? Would you want to hang around Oprah? Yeah, for sure, because she's a woman of influence, and by hanging around her, you would know that you would get something, right? And I just found out that to be on Oprah, it's $100,000 to be on her show. Would I pay for it if I so wanted it? Oh yeah, for sure, because her fan base is like millions and millions. I don't know what, 50 million? And it's international. So would I want to invest? Oh yeah, I will. So you need to also ask yourself, what is the result that you're helping your clients get? And, basically the time frame. I spent $100,000 with Oprah. It shortcuts so many things for me, right? It shortcuts time. The reason why people invest in you is because they don't want to spend time figuring it out on their own. So the more you develop yourself, the more you develop your skill, the more you are more well-informed, the faster you can help your clients get results, the more you can charge, right? I mean, my private intensive day is $7,500 and above. You may think it's a lot, but a lot compared to what? People are charging $30,000. So I think mine, it's okay. You know, I probably raise my rates again. Like even if I charge $10,000, but the time that the client spends with me, I'll give her the entire sales process that she can go triple and even quadruple her income in the next 3 months. So is that money well spent? You got to think about the ROI, right? So you start from where you are. You know what you can do and what you cannot do, right? So am I a different person like since 5 years ago? Yeah, for sure. I charge $10 per reading. In fact, I did it for free. Now, to join my Changemakers program is $15,000. You know what? Next year I'm raising my rates again. Why? Because I now know better. I'm a better person. I'm not better person in, of course, in every area of my life, and I can effectively see what's going on. And the Own It, Be the Woman of Influence, if you really need to know, the investment is $7,500 for 6 months, right? What's the ROI for you? You will be making more money than that. That's $7,500. So if I teach you how to be a woman of influence, and if you can charge $1,000 per client, 5 clients in the month, that's $5,000. 6 months, that's $30,000. So that's way above your ROI. You have gotten your money back. So I think of how I can help my clients double or even triple the investment. Otherwise, why would people hire you? Okay. So if you're ready to make 30,000, no, not guaranteed. Only guaranteed if you're willing to do the work, then I encourage you to apply for that as well. Okay. So of course, you need to seek guidance within yourself, right? Like if you're charging $500 and you're feeling like, oh, but man, then raise your rates to a level that you're comfortable with. Okay, not like 5,000 when you are now at the frequency of 500, right? You go according to your vibration. Yep, Genevieve. All right, I thought so. I'm exactly in the situation you were. I've built my business. All of it is ready, but I'm craving to invest in a coach, but I don't have the resources. Well, not yet. Not yet because you haven't made the decision. So Genevieve, I would invite you to apply. And again, if I'm not the coach for you, forget it. If money's not an issue for you, this program is not for you, then forget it. However, that being said, the fact of the matter that you are here, then I would believe I have some influence over you. And if you so desire to be the woman of influence, and if you have built your business, all of it is ready and it's not happening, then what's lacking is your influence. I invite you to apply. The money's not there once again. It's because you haven't decided on to invest in this program, to invest in yourself, right? So I highly invite you to apply for this, okay? So Amanda has something to say. So when it comes down to trust and also to not ask as a victim, sorry, I missed some part of it as I was sending you an email. Okay, so yes, part of it is trust. You need to trust that whatever that you desire is already there. It's already there. It's like, I give this an example, like the radio station, right? I don't know what's the radio station in your country, but I love to listen to 95 FM in Singapore because they're just funny. So that needle has to be at 95 FM before I could listen to it. Anything before or after, I don't know which way is for you, before and after, but yeah, you get the point. If I tune into 100, I will not listen to my favorite channel, right? So you need to tune your frequency to reach 95 FM to hear the station. Likewise in your frequency, all right? So trust. I trust that the 95 FM is there somewhere for me, okay? I just need to tune that vibration, that thing there. All right, I'm loving all the comments. Keep them coming. Are you coming back again tomorrow? Because tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the next secret. The first secret today, it's really the trust in God. So I want you to really allow God to come in and help you, right? Not help you in a victimized way, but allow that support. Hey, Lalita. Okay, Lalita is our second woman of influence who joined the program. So let me do a little shout out for Lalita. Lalita is an awesome healer who runs a spa in Mexico. Is it Mexico? When I heard her story yesterday, it was just so amazing. I'm going to be interviewing her on Friday. You hear her story. Every woman has a money story, but yet she didn't allow herself. Of course, she was telling me, I said, damn, your change makers program is sold out. And so this time she didn't allow herself any excuses. And she's like, I'm going to do this because the time is now for her. So she has a lot of tools under her belt to help you raise your vibration, all right? And be courageous in life, because like I talked about fear earlier on, and she gives you the tools to not run away from fears, because the more you run away, whatever you resist persists, okay? So I just want to give a shout out to Lalita. I love you so much. So I just raised my prices after listening to you a few weeks ago, and right away it started to sell. I noticed before when I went home after a session and I was exhausted and I felt undervalued. Now I feel comfortable. I don't know, comfier. All right. Good for you see? Awesome. Congratulations. So we will hear more about your story on Friday, which is my Saturday. See, I love you so much that I'm willing to work on Saturday. Alrighty. So I'm going to take one last question before my laptop dies on me. And it's about time. I know you're spending a lot of time with me, and that's good. Love you too. All right. I love you too. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. And seriously, I do invite you to apply for this program. I mean, it's not a magic pill. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. We do need time to raise your profile and to train you to become the woman of influence. So therefore, it's 6 months. I don't want to rush. I don't want to have stress in my body. I don't want you to have stress in your body as well. We want to take things slow, nice, and easy to get our results elegantly and gracefully. So a woman entrepreneur, a successful woman does not rush. There is no overwhelm. There's no stress. Yes, we hustle. Yes, we go get what we want. But yet at the same time, we need to also take care of ourselves. All right, so it has been a wonderful time with you. And I mean, I cannot stress how important it is to have influence. Once again, without influence, you can't inspire, there's no impact, and let alone you can't make any income. So we all want to make good and meaningful money. And we want to monetize our gifts, not sell ourselves, but the way to work at it is to monetize our gifts. So I know you have a gift, you know you have a talent, so start being God's best kept secret and get your name out there. You are worth millions. Yes, you. So I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.